A school bus driver tried to touch me inappropriately when I was only 16 years old. I was scared, traumatized. I remember crying for several days. And when I went to my school, like I was in 11th, 12th grade back then, I told my friends, this is what happened, that's why I'm crying. And she said, that person is like that, let's forget that. I came back home and wrote in my journal. I love writing in journal. It has always been my safe space. Probably some of you journal too. This is wrong. Why should I tolerate this? I was scared and traumatized, okay? I was not a confident kid ever. But something told me that I should do something about it. I decided to complain. I convinced my girl gang to go with me to the principal office and complain. I was shaking. I was in tears. But I decided to complain against the wrong. That was my first act of unbecoming, realizing that my voice matters. And even when I am shaking, I can stand against the wrong even when I am shaking. After just that incident, someone in the school told me, being a girl, what a shame it is. Doesn't matter for a guy. But being a girl, it's a shame. Why did you do that? I remember telling him, अन्याय गर्नु भन्दा अन्याय सहनु ठुलो कुरा हो. Tolerating injustice is bigger sin than tolerating injustice, than doing injustice. That was me trying to unbecome, shredding the layers, challenging the stereotype, challenging the silence, even though I was scared and shaking. That led me to the journey of being in the room full of people when I decided to introduce myself as a volunteer. That led me to the journey of starting an NGO as a founding member when I was only 18 years old. I went into the journey of passion, trying to create impact. Hey, I was really scared, okay, back then too, but I felt like there is more to life. That led me to be the volunteer leader, and I started getting lots of trainings, and then became the volunteer trainers, leadership trainer. That led me to the United Kingdom, fully funded scholarship. I was still scared. But I started becoming passionate about my life, going out of my hometown to create impact, starting the library in remote part of Nepal, doing the Cloth for All campaign or Book for a Village, or doing blood donation, being in the donor office. I realized that even though I'm not confident, I can still do something. Even though other people might tell, hey, she's not the confident person, but she can still do it. That led me to be passionate about life. I remember one day, I was in a beautiful place. I see the beautiful mountain cloud floating, and I realized life is actually beautiful. I was told life is always a struggle. There is so much pain to life. You have to hustle, work. There is so much pain. But actually life is beautiful, and you can actually live life probably beautifully. That led me to challenge more. I was excited, passionate about life. You know, NGO starting when I was only in my teenage years, but life has another plan. My final year of university, I was doing my bachelor's degree. They lost my paper, and I thought something probably had happened. My exam result was withheld, and I thought, okay, something had happened. But I went to the authority and asked them, what happened to my paper? They said, I don't know, maybe give exam next year. What? Like, what? But I realized in our country, like people, authority, government do not take accountability. That's when I also realized I was trading the layer. Life is not only butterflies. There is also pain. There is also, probably you will also suffer when there is a systemic failure. Life is also unfair. That was trading my layer and realizing that there is highs and lows to life. I came back home that day, one day after trying to convince the authority why, like, give me the solution, but nobody cared. I tried to go to media and everywhere, nothing really happened. All the 4 years wasted when my other friends are, joining master's degree and trying to do something, and me No fault, okay? I had no fault. Nobody explained at all. They are like, oh, this happens in Nepal, happened to me too. This time I had to give up. And I came back one day home, and there was a piece of paper written, a note by my dad, and it was written, okay, what will you do in your life anyway? Volunteering, wasting time, and these things are happening. You are almost 20, 21. Your friend recently got married. Maybe get married. I remember being frozen there, and I was like, this is not the story I want to write for my life. This is not me. I have to dismantle this, whatever it is. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. I know I have to fight with tears and challenge the narrative, but I knew that I have to fight it. That was me unbecoming, shredding the layers, accepting what will come, and being courageous and brave. Even I was in tears and shaking, and life has thrown some curveball to me. That led me to one interesting competition, Your Big Year. It was a global competition. There were 60,000 plus participants, and I decided to join it. That led me to actually become global champion. I was one of the top 12 participants. That led me to Silicon Valley, being around Google, Facebook, all the entrepreneurs. That was a different story. Remember, I was still a scared kid, but I went there and learned and came back to Nepal to write my own narrative. I decided, okay, maybe I will start my own social enterprise. I started Youth Legend, a social enterprise. I decided to unlearn and unbecome. Okay, school did not teach me all of that thing, but world is a big school, and I will go and learn by myself. Then I was passionately doing various programs, mental health awareness program, international youth camps, exchange programs, so many things, futsal tournament. And also I was traveling the world, like going into various conferences from Morocco to Sudan to Cambodia, different places. I felt like, wow, this is happening. But one day again, I found myself in so much pain. I had learned that life is hustle, you have to work and grind and do so much, but my body was saying different thing. I had severe migraine, neck pain, body pain. I was working 24/7. And again, I questioned, oh, is it really me? I was only in mid-20s and so much pain for what? So I had to again come back to myself, and I remember writing in my diary again, this is not me. Is this the life I wanted to create? I mean, it looked pretty good in, like traveling, doing this, but I asked myself, is this the life I wanted to create? Probably not, and my body was asking for help. And I remember writing in my diary, okay, I'm gonna create my own version of best life. Probably I was told so many things that is there, but probably I have to write different narrative. I wrote #Living Best Life Challenge. I'll create my own version of best life. So I made a commitment, a small commitment, because I tried to do so many things earlier, it was not working. So I made a commitment. Maybe I'll do 2 push-ups today. Maybe I'll do 5 jumping jacks tomorrow. And that was the small commitment to myself that started building the self-trust. And before I know it, I was committing to not have outside food for almost 6 months. I was so excited, okay? I decided to, okay, living life in my own terms. What do I like? Oh, I realize I like sustainability. So I will not buy clothes, no new clothes for at least a year. That commitment led me to at least not buy clothes for next 4 years. Before I knew it, I lost 10 kg. I was in my best health, best shape. I felt like, wow, this is life. I even went to Southeast Asia backpacking, solo backpacking, challenging the narrative. I was still very, very scared. Not a confident person in the room, but I took that journey. I was shredding layer, unbecoming, coming back to myself with accountability. Then COVID happened. Then, I was doing so many things, I had to pause again, and that led me to, again, shift my career totally different. I started coaching to people across the world. Started with one client. I was scared, but I did it until it became my new normal. That was me, again, unbecoming. Now, when I work with clients across the world, 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and one question I always ask them is, what is something that is not serving you that you want to release? What does not serve you at all? And they always have something to release. The clients, even in 70s, they said, I feel like I'm not good enough. I am comparing myself to other people. So they are also in the journey of unbecoming. We talk about becoming this, that, but we never really talk about unbecoming. Have you ever thought, when you came into this world, think about the time when you came into the world, you are this pure, raw person of you. You are like a blank piece of white paper before all the paintings, paintings of thoughts and beliefs and so many things happened and created your personality, your belief system. What if you did not want that? What if your dreams or things that you wanted is not really yours? What if you start becoming true to yourself? I call this the process of rebirth. When you came into the world first, you did not have a choice. But when you start to rebirth, reparenting yourself and decide, this is me, this is not what it is. There is so much distraction to the world right now, so much information. It's so easy to get distracted and with more and more information and lose yourself. Unbecoming is a radical process of coming back to yourself, accepting your shadows and darkness. You are not running away from yourself. It's so scary to look into yourself in your eyes in the mirror and say, hey, this is me. With all the darkness, unbecoming is being able to say sorry to others and also yourself. With all the darkness and brightness and truth, you are raw and bare. It's able to accept your truth and be able to set boundaries. There was a client I remember. He looked very successful in the outside. He was multi-millionaire, always traveling in private, business class. And he was in the best shape, best body. It looked like he has a best life. And when he reached out to me, I was like, why are you reaching out to me? You look like you have figured out life. It seems like you have a best life. And he told me, I feel like I'm not good enough. I find myself, even when I'm going to the gym, that I'm not doing enough. I'm still comparing myself to other people. I feel like I want to do more. And this is not helping me. Deep down, I have this self-criticism. We are our biggest critic. I told him, imagine there is a friend who always criticize you, always say bad things to you. What do you think about this friend? Do you want to be around that friend? Do you? Yes, no? No, right? What if I tell you that friend is you? We have actually become our biggest critic, and sometimes our mind is not our safe space. We are comparing, we are criticizing, and we are losing ourselves. Even sometimes we make promises, like, I'll do this, I'll do that from tomorrow, and then we don't do it. Imagine there is a friend, when they start doing that, you won't trust them, right? Can you trust yourself then? Unbecoming is coming back to you with truth. Really being honest with yourself. That client had to release the layer, where it came from. We don't know where it came from. We might never know where we borrowed it, right? I remember writing in my diary again, journaling. What if I give myself permission to make mistakes? And I was like, what? I can make mistakes? I do not need to be perfect? I asked myself again, where probably I learned that? Where did I learn that I cannot make mistakes? That led me to my childhood. I think I was 6, 7 years old. I mistakenly dropped a white piece of cloth in mud. And I was beaten really badly that I got fever. And I realized that was my first learning experience, that I cannot make mistakes, otherwise I will be punished so badly, and that will that probably laid into the belief system we cannot make mistakes. And it happens to many of my clients. My client is in 60s. He also says that I do not want to be perfect, but the perfection is coming in so many ways. I want to let it go. I want to give myself permission to be human. That is unbecoming. So, unbecoming is coming back home, being true to yourself. I would like to ask you, before I leave, what are the things that you want to challenge that do not resonate with you, even though you are scared? What is the identity you want to dismantle? It's coming back to you again and again and again, to different identity. What is the permission that you want to give yourself? What are the layers you want to shred? What are the thoughts and belief and mindset that is not serving you, that you want to release? Because before becoming anything, you have to first shred the layer, and then only after unbecoming you can really become and come back to true you. That's all. Thank you.